Да, то зробити собі, там просто дивіться, форми, які ви скидали, це примерно. На WhatsApp. И вот по им, короче, можно все просто Франция согласился со всем стейтом, и поддержала
Мгм. Подключены они?
Good afternoon, delegates, guests, and students of Miras International School. Welcome to the final session of Miss Moon 2022. We want to dedicate this conference to the 30th anniversary of independence for the Republic of Kazakhstan.
We would like to start the final session of Miss Moon 2022 with a performance by Miras International School students with the dance composition, Confident in Success.
Today, each committee will be invited to present their
What's wrong with being confident? What's wrong with being confident? It's time to get the chains out. Is your tongue tied up? 'Cause this is my round, and I'm dangerous, and you can get off, but it's all about me tonight. So you say I'm complicated, that I must be out of my mind, but you've had me underrated, rated. What's wrong with being confident? What's wrong with being confident? So you say I'm complicated, but you've had me
Today, each committee will be invited to present their resolutions on the topics discussed over the past 2 days.
Firstly, please welcome the chair of the Committee of Science and Technology to read the resolution.
Hello, my name is Ernie, and I'm the co-chair of the Committee of Science and Innovation. Commission of Science and Technology for Development. Our first resolution is for artificial intelligence development. The sponsors are the United Kingdom of Great Britain, they're the greatest general sponsor, South Africa, resources and partial funding, Iran for scientific personnel and experts, Finland for creation of app experience, China for scientific technology, Saudi Arabia for introducing computers and robots with AI and China for scientific technology, Saudi Arabia for introducing computers and robots with AI in UN countries in order to show their efficiency when used in correct non-violent way. Austria for affordable education in the field of modern technologies and high quality infrastructure services. The signatories are Finland, Brazil, South Africa, Iran, the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Saudi Arabia, China, Belgium, Austria, Romania, Canada, and Switzerland. The first is the policy of an alliance, restrictions for the other countries and their citizens to use AI only for peace and development. Second, ban of military exploitations of the AI. Third, international regulations of AI usage. Fourth, justifying part use of money from the budget for the purpose. Second, education. One, conducting research and maintaining it with funding. Second, using AI at schools and unis to encourage citizens, fostering and developing strong digital skills for students, fostering and developing strong digital skills for doctoral candidates and high-profile professionals. Fourth, introducing programs at university providing courses in AI. Fifth, developing educational aspects such as computer science, machines, mathematics, as robotics engineer. Resolutions on modern technologies development for sustainable development. The sponsors are Iran, Belgium, South Africa, United Kingdom of Great Britain, the Northern Ireland. They are providing scientific experts and professors to help organize the exchange systems. The signatories are Brazil, South Africa, Iran, the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Saudi Arabia, China, Belgium, Austria, Canada, Romania, and Finland. The first is better developed countries should put all their efforts to help developing countries to acquire a decent level of technologies for greater living conditions. The second is supportive educational systems to educate potential entrepreneurs and fund innovative startups in exchange for shareholders' rights in the future companies. The third is introduce practice in educating children from less developed countries as part of higher education that can provide benefits in employment or work. The fourth is economically encourage experts to move to less developed countries, providing higher salaries and greater career opportunities. The fifth is to create and promote volunteering programs. The resolution on development of modern technologies in the area of health. First is the first motion. The sponsors are South Africa, workers, which are going to supply workers and financial support. The second is Saudi Arabia, which is going to provide financial support, training, and education programs. The third sponsor is Finland, which is going to provide specialists, technology, and financial support. The signatories are Saudi Arabia, Iran, Finland, South Africa, and Austria. The first point is interstate organizations to educate policymakers, medical personnel, and average citizens about the implementations of technologies in the area of health. The second is international education programs for medical personnel. The third is training and educational programs to educate professionals from different countries in the field of e-health and its possible impact on the health sector. The fourth is designing more interdisciplinary university programs on the intersection of medicine and IT and biology to increase the number of young specialists. The fifth point is the organization of business summits to educate investors about prospective e-health technologies to encourage them to invest in the companies that work on its development. The sixth point is promoting e-health all over the UN countries. The seventh is creating hospitals with new technologies to demonstrate their effectiveness and practice the technologies which were made in the hospitals. The second motion is their sponsors are United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. They sponsor scientific experts. The second sponsor is China. which is the main epicenter of manufacturing healthcare products. And the third sponsor is Belgium, which is going to sponsor space. The signatories are Belgium, Egypt, Thailand, Brazil, Canada, and Romania. The first point is to make it more available for the countries that do not have access to IT and health and are still struggling with ordinary medicine. The second point is encouraging scientists and new generations to start advancing technology, funding universities and STEM faculties. The third point is start using innovative technologies and implement them in public hospitals. The fourth point is it costs too much, so we should encourage private businesses to make repairs on the public hospitals and create new ones. The fifth point is support startups and discover in the health area. There are great ideas, but there is no money to realize them. The sixth point is because China is the main epicenter of manufacturing healthcare products, we need to provide as businessmen to create it in other countries by giving free spaces from other countries.
Thank you, Technological Committee. Well done for the proposal you have made. Next, please. Welcome the representatives of the Human Rights Committee.
I'm the chair for the Human Rights Committee. Our sponsors are Maldives, Iraq, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, USA, Portugal, Egypt. The signatories are South Korea, Georgia, India, Egypt, Belgium, Cuba, South Africa, Netherlands, and Germany, Japan, and UK. Our first topic is combating global racism and various types of discrimination. The first topic is express the hope for the United Nations to play a most constructive role in helping to develop a legal system in all of the countries, especially in the Middle East and Southeast Asia, organizing returns of displaced people due to the war, setting up claims commissions and courts to deal with property issues. Second, emphasizes the need for protecting foreigners and expatriates, developing the labor laws to prohibit the discrimination of immigrant workers, creating committees to protect and promote the rights of foreigners and foreign workers. The third is calls for specific legislation targeting hate crimes, hate speech, and other types of discriminatory crimes. Four is stresses the role of the government in provision of rights and opportunities to access public services to people irrespective of their race, nationality, origin, gender, orientation, religious, or political views. The second is protection of children during armed conflicts, urges implementation of policies to protect children from cyber violence, including recruitment by terrorist organizations, requests the signatories to warrant special humanitarian protection to schools and kindergartens. The third is calls open to create orphanages with proper conditions for happy life for children. The third is developing the roles of women's rights in modern world. First is for further request the government and policy decision-making makers to take concrete action to prevent violence against women and discrimination opposed to the women's rights, providing culture and religious norms impeding women's property rights, especially in the rural areas, preventing discriminations in such areas as marriage, divorce, child custody, employment, pays, owning, managing businesses, property, education, the judicial process, and housing, holding conferences and negotiate between the government of countries and the United Nations. Second is draws the attention to the need of creation and promotion of non-governmental organizations. Third is expresses the need for implementation of special complaints, procedures for victims of domestic violence and sexual harassment. Fourth is affirms the importance of representations of women in politics and the gender ratio in the parliament. Thank you.
Thank you to the Human Rights Committee. It's good to see that the delegates were able to come up with some agreements in their sessions. Our next group will be the World Health Organization. Please welcome the chair of the committee.
Hello, I'm the chair of the World Health Organization Committee. And the resolution for the topic of supporting children with mental health challenges in the pandemic is, the sponsors are United States, UAE, and Turkey. The signatories are Greece, Austria, Argentina, Bangladesh, Belgium, Bulgaria, UK, Vietnam, Germany, India, Ireland, Spain, China, and Switzerland. Here are our main points. The first one is free international and local flights for children with mental health problems of the second degree. Providing free education for kids with disabilities and mental health challenges. And the last one is providing kids with mental health problems with free therapists and doctors. The sponsors of our second resolution are United States, Austria, Turkey, and Bulgaria. The signatories are Greece, UAE, Argentina, Bangladesh, Belgium, UK, Vietnam, Germany, India, Ireland, Spain, China, and Switzerland. The topic is ensuring a healthy lifestyle for young people in a pandemic. Our delegates decided on presenting these solutions. Creating new fitness companies with all protection from infections and individual rules. Providing free online courses on healthy lifestyle. And the last one is providing healthy food products for people with financial problems and athletes and children of athletes. The third resolution and the sponsors for it are United States, Argentina, Turkey, and UK. The signatories are Greece, UAE, Austria, Bangladesh, Belgium, Bulgaria, Vietnam, Germany, India, Ireland, Spain, China, and Switzerland. The topic is vaccination in the world and the fight against discrimination. The first point is protection of human rights about the free choice of receiving or not receiving a vaccine. The second one is ensuring that all people receive free available vaccinations. And the last one is providing medicine against the virus to the locals. Thank you.
Thank you to the World Health Organization. Our next group will be the Environmental Committee.
Our next group will be the Economic and Financial Committee. Please welcome the chair of the Economic and Financial Committee to read the resolution.
Thank you very much. Recognizing the issues presented upon the global pandemic, noting with deep concern all the damages brought by COVID-19 to the small and medium-sized businesses. The global the financial committee is alarmed by the current situation created by the decreased job opportunities in the market and increased unemployment rate, reminding that a strong government is needed to facilitate funding and initiatives, and expressing its appreciation for all efforts of the nations in the collaboration, and emphasizing the issues and addressing the further solutions. The first topic and matter of discussion was a decent job in a global aspiration and a common purpose. The Financial and Economic Committee have came to a conclusion that it should establish the organization that is going to regulate and create certification systems for companies to adhere the employee protection requirements. The organization will provide aid to workers in need depending on circumstances such as finding better job opportunities, healthcare and insurance, better pay and benefits. The organization will give out certifications to companies that prove that there is gender equality in the workplace in terms of pay, minimum wage requirements are being followed, takes part in open communication with governments concerning the issues above. The second matter that was discussed is financing and developing of small and medium-sized businesses in a global pandemic. Financial and Economic Committee encourages government to provide financial aid for those businesses that suffered during the COVID-19 pandemic. It should create foundations or programs that will help small and medium-sized businesses to recover from the crisis, and it should attract investors from other countries if needed. Secondly, a call for government to assist small and medium-sized businesses in the following forms: reduce taxes within the country, introduce subsidies, grant loans through national central banking system, and invest in capital. Third and final matter that was discussed is the global e-commerce market and cryptocurrency and its development in the world. Financial and Economic Committee urges all states to consider the negative implications of the use of cryptocurrency through the relevant policies, such as regulations, bans, or otherwise depending on the current state, and encourages countries to consider implications of possible regulatory bodies controlling the transaction made upon the cryptocurrency and online e-commerce with the purpose of safety. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you to the Economic and Financial Committee. Our last group will be the Commission of Science and Technology. Our last group will be the Environmental Committee. Please welcome the chair to read their resolution.
General Assembly. We're representatives of the Environmental Committee, Miss Moon 2022. We're pleased to welcome participants and representatives of other committees to the final meetings of the Model United Nations. During the active discussion and productive work of our committee, the countries came to a mutual solution to the global environmental problems of our planet. We're happy to announce our decisions to you. Topic: extreme rise in pollution and possible solutions. Sponsors: USA, Japan, Netherlands, New Zealand, India, Vietnam, China, Finland, and Spain and Ireland. And signatories: Ireland, Italy, India, and Netherlands. Increasing funding for international structure dealing with climate change regulation. Location of tenders for the development of new processing technologies. Reduce pollutant emissions that cause smog emissions, including CO2 and NO particles. Reduce the burning of oil, coal, and gas, the transition to cleaner energy sources. General Material Fund for the preservation of a clean environment. Transition of highly developed countries to renewable energy sources. Familiarization of the population with environmental standards, conducting various educational activities in this area. Education as a way to fight for the environment. The introduction of the concept of ecology and its conservation from the elementary grades, as well as special course in higher educational institutions on international, social, economic, and environmental problems. Next one is improvement and development of international, regional, and national legislation of all elements and in all areas applied of the system, of the state system, preventing the development of corruption by expanding the powers of national law enforcement investigations. General material fund for the preservation of a clean environment. Shift to cleaner fuels and technologies. Search for alternative energy sources and reduce the cost of their use.
So the next topic is environmental regulation of chemicals and waste in the workplace. Firstly, sponsors: USA, Japan, Netherlands, China, and Iceland. Signatures: USA, Japan, Afghanistan, Netherlands, China, Italy, New Zealand, Vietnam, Russia, Finland, Singapore, Canada, India, Turkey, Greece, Iceland, and New Zealand. Waste recycling, recycling and education after processing give a second life. Accurate cleaning of landfills and landfills. Replacing plastic with biodegradable components. Establishing laws and penalties. Every 2 months to do a check on the quality of water and sewage using digital technology. Ozone recharge. Spray artificially created ozone in the stratosphere. Priority the use of environmentally friendly materials over cheap ones. Rational use of chemicals. Reduce use of radioactive substances. Establishment of MPC standards. Next topic: climate change and related risks around the world. Sponsors: USA, Japan, Afghanistan, Netherlands, China, Italy, New Zealand, and Vietnam. Russia, Finland, Singapore, Canada, India, Turkey, Greece, Iceland, and New Zealand. Signatures: USA, Japan, Afghanistan, Netherlands, China, Italy, New Zealand, Vietnam, Russia, Finland, Singapore, Canada, India, Turkey, Greece, Iceland, and New Zealand. Annual convening of UN member states to discuss the climate agenda. Reducing the use of fossil energy fuels, coal, oil, and gas by increasing alternative energy sources, USA. Mass production and generation of ozone to close ozone holes and thicken the ozone layer itself. Development of new environmentally friendly and low carbon techniques with low global warming potential. Use of sources with a low greenhouse gas pollution index. Stimulation of environmental education and education. Countries and urgently increase their efforts to combat climate change and associated risks with worldwide. Taxes on the use of transport of hydrocarbon fuels in large quantities. Planting more forest belts. Developing the construction of enterprises corrupting CO2 and stop development nuclear and chemical weapons. Thank you for your attention.
This was the Environmental Committee.
Thank you to the Environmental Committee. Our last group will be the Security Council. Please welcome the chair.
The Security Council discussed 3 topics. The first one is biological weapons. The second one is crisis in Afghanistan, and the third one is refugee migration crisis. Our first resolution was signed by the UK, USA, China, France, Russia, Vietnam, Kenya, Mexico, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Estonia, and Norway. The main submitters are UK, USA, France, and China. The sponsors are UK, USA, Vietnam, Kenya, Mexico, China, France, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. First point, requesting money for developers and architects so they develop innovative devices capable of instantly detecting lethal bacteria and viruses in the environment, and encouraging the production of stockpiling of new vaccines for the protection of countries. Participation in cooperation and assistance in the peaceful use of achievements of science and biotechnology. The second point is providing assistance to a state party if it is at risk as a result of violation of the BTWC. Third, pointing out to pay more money to the doctors as they're the only people who can stop the virus if it gets out of the public. Subclause, bioweapon awareness, a code of ethics and a code of conduct for biologists and biotechnologists. plus psychological checks. More money and salary would not help matters. Instead, we can make biotechnologists and scientists sign a code of ethics and a code of conduct, as well as receive psychological checks that evaluate their mental state. The fifth clause is make a job of a doctor within the United Nations that will help countries in case they get attacked with bioweapons. The sixth and final clause is the right of each participating state to file a complaint with the UNCSC in the event of a violation by another state of obligations under the Convention, Article 6. Our second resolution is about the topic of crisis in Afghanistan. The signatories include the delegation of UK, USA, Vietnam, Kenya, Mexico, China, France, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Estonia, Russia, and Norway. The main submitters are the delegation of UK, USA, France, China, and Russia. The sponsors are UK, USA, China, and France. Our first clause is requesting the security of women and their rights in Afghanistan from brutal Taliban force. The second clause is take attention and action to human rights and active terrorism in Afghanistan by Taliban forces for the peace of the country. The third clause is calling upon the Taliban government that they must submit the accused terrorists to the International Court of Justice. The fourth clause is the United States is willing to provide more than $10 billion to open secular educational institutions in Afghanistan. The fifth clause is adding guards sent by the alliance nations would help stop the violence to the peaceful citizens in the country. The sixth clause is we can send supplies of food, water, healthcare, specifically vaccines for COVID-19 and doctors for peaceful citizens within the country. The seventh clause is seize bank accounts associated with individuals involved in terrorism. The eighth clause is freedoms of speech, media, and human rights. The ninth and final clause is take people out to safety zones if there are Afghan citizens who are willing to do so. And our last resolution is the refugee migration crisis resolution. The delegations that signed the resolution are the delegation of UK, USA, Vietnam, Kenya, Mexico, China, France, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Estonia, Russia, and Norway. The main submitters are the delegation of UK, USA, and France. And the main sponsors are UK, USA, France, and China. We want all people to have a decent education and healthcare, regardless of any country. Our first clause is a consecutive dialogue among stakeholders, and it's the most effective way to help refugees return safely in their home countries and reintegrate into society. The second clause is refugees, non-permanent migrants, and economic immigrants need to be properly classified, especially against the backdrop of emerging non-traditional security threats. Determining the place of residence, country, longitude of stay, availability of documents. The third clause is provide social payments for the refugees that have to come to get help in the country they are in at the moment of stay. The fourth clause is we're happy to help socially under a private program financed by the cooperating countries, and we should ask the other countries to join this program, providing basic needs for refugees such as healthcare, clothing, especially for refugees forced to leave during wars in their countries. The fifth clause is safe passage to refugee camps, allowing people to reconcile with their family. The next clause is since the migration of the employed population carries positive economic consequences for the state to create socially significant objects for the people, such as schools and hospitals. The seventh clause is give free home and shelter for the refugees in countries who are prepared to give help. The eighth clause is make a special commission to spend funds only on those relevant projects. That commission should be international and invest only in education and health facilities projects to minimize corruption. This commission should also be from one country willing to take the responsibility. And the final clause is provide land for the migrants and refugees on territories that are willing to give shelter to the refugees. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the chairs of the committees. Now, the organizational committee has prepared certificates for each delegate, which will be sent electronically or by post after the conference. Every participant will also receive a small gift. Now it is time to say thank you to all the people without whom we would not be able to hold the conference.
Thanks to the administration of Miras International School, coordinators, teachers, chairs, co-chairs, and delegates of all committees, secretariat and press corps journalists.
These are the people who have passed their messages solve logistical problems, and generally set up and taking care of our many needs at Miss Moon Online. Let's express our gratitude to them.
We would like to say thank you to the guests and to all supervisors and coordinators from the participating schools.
Thank you everyone for all of your hard work. We've now come to the point in Miss Moon where we recognize all our delegates.
First, we're inviting the schools who are new to Miss Moon 2022. Nika School, Ukraine.
Private Lomonosov School, Nizhny Novgorod, Russia.
Makhmat Kashgari School Lyceum, Kazakhstan.
The Republican School of Physics and Mathematics, Nur-Sultan.
State School Number 3, Pavlodar, Kazakhstan.
School Gymnasium Zerde, Almaty.
Spectrum School Almaty, Kazakhstan.
School of the Young Politicians, Moscow, Russia.
Ishkanur Medrese College, Kazakhstan.
And now, we're inviting the delegates who have been collaborating with Miss Moon for years.
European Azerbaijan School, Baku, Azerbaijan.
Moscow Economical School, Russia.
Herzl University International School, St. Petersburg, Russia.
KGU School number 79, Nur-Sultan.
Almaly State School, Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Belinsky State School, Almaty.
International Lyceum Dostar, Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Немере Private School, Kaskilen, Kazakhstan.
Al-Farabi School, Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Lyceum Arstan, Kazakhstan.
International School, Almaty, Kazakhstan.
KGU School Lyceum number 35, Uralsk City, Kazakhstan.
And finally, the Ross International School, Nur-Sultan, Kazakhstan. Thank you everyone for your energy, attention, and participation. And we hope to see you all again next year for Miss Moon 2023. We hope that next year we will be able to meet you in person at the Ross International School, Almaty.
Dear coordinators, supervisors, and delegates, thank you for participating in the online conference Model UN 2022, Miras International School in Almaty. We invite all participants to join our teachers and students and support the wonderful flash mob World Peace.
Please send your participation video today, February 25, 2022, with hashtag World Peace and your school name, and send to the folder Flashmob 2022. Our team member will edit to make a film and will send it to the final version of it to the UN representative's office in the Republic of Kazakhstan.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami,
Thank you everyone to participating in Miss Moon 2022.
We hope to see each and every one of you next year.
Thank you, goodbye.